biggest emphasis on at Bedford High School is trust. Trust. A bunch of you guys are going to be trying out for all kinds of sports this year, whether you're playing football, playing basketball, trying out for AAU. The biggest thing you need to do is you need to build trust with not only your teammates, but the coach who's going to be coaching you. Okay? When I sit down and I look at the guys that I have in front of me, I have to be able to trust them. I have to be able to trust them. I'm going to put them on the floor. They're going to be in pressure situations, these situations, and they're going to be able to execute in those situations. Okay? So they have to build trust. We're going to do a few drills in here where we talk about that. Best way to build trust, communicate with your teammates. Communicate with your teammates. This day 3 of the camp, right? Think about this right now. How many guys in here do you know their first name and know something about them? Right? Do you know everybody in here? No. You got to spend time doing that. Okay? When I look for captains at Bedford High School, I tell the guys, listen, you might be a great player, but if I can't go to you and say, hey, so-and-so's having an issue, what's going on, and you don't know about it, then you're not truly being a leader. And I can't trust you fully. Okay? I'll tell you a story about a guy that played for me 2 years ago. His name is Matt Carrier. Okay? I got to coach Matt for 3 seasons in football and 4 seasons in basketball. Basketball ends his junior year. Hasn't played a single minute of varsity basketball. Not one. Hasn't even dressed for a varsity basketball. I know Matt. I know that he's got tremendous leadership skills. Okay? At the end of his junior year, they're changing head coaches at Bedford High School. I was an assistant for 10 years under the previous coach. I put my name in. There was no guarantee I was going to get the job. Once I got it, I had a bunch of talented guys. You guys that played for Mass Elite. Jack Allen plays for you guys. Peter Caponides. I knew those guys were coming in. But I needed Matt. I needed Matt because I knew that I could trust him. I knew that he would be a great character guy, and he would do everything I asked all the time. Okay? So I went to Matt and I said, listen, I know you're kind of on the fence. You played JV this whole time. Imagine this, 3 years of high school basketball. Only played JV. And I'm the new head coach, and he's coming off a season where they only won 6 games. And I'm begging him to play. He finally says, Coach, you know what? You've been good to me. I'm going to try out and play, and we'll see how this goes. We go through the preseason, we do scrimmages, all that stuff. At the end of that, I tell Matt, I say, Matt, listen, you're going to play a lot, but here's one rule you got to follow. Think about this. JV for 3 years, he's going to get a chance to play varsity basketball. I tell him he's got one rule he's going to follow. You can't dribble the basketball in the game. He couldn't. He wasn't very skilled with the basketball. I am asking this kid to trust me. You've played 3 years at JV. I want you to play varsity basketball. You can't dribble the ball in the game. That just blindly trusts me. I had built enough relationship with him. He blindly trusts me. Okay? I know Matt Kazianchi, he's a Bedford guy. He watched a lot of those games. Did Matt Tuperio play a lot? Absolutely. Did Matt Tuperio start for us? He started every game. Okay? He started every game. He always covered the other team's best player, and he lived under a rule where he couldn't dribble the basketball. There were games he scored 15, 20 points. Didn't dribble the basketball. He just trusted what I asked. He could shoot the lights out, but he couldn't create his own shot, so he had to rely on his teammates. He had to trust his teammates to create those shots for him. Okay? We do a lot of things in Bedford to create trust. Right? First thing I like to do with my team is when we are going to have a team dinner, the first team dinner always takes place at the same place, my house. If I want my players to trust me, they got to know what I'm all about. Right? They got to know that my wife will be in the stands watching me play every game. They got to know that I got 4 kids, 2 twins, 4 months old, that will be dying for them to win. Okay? That way they can trust me. Right? Once they trust me, then I can build on their trust. One of the biggest things we just talked about a second ago is communication. Communication, communication. It's going to be on the floor, but it's going to be off. You're going to build relationships with your teammates all the time. You're going to know when they need hey, a pat on the back. You also got to know when you got to push him. Say, hey, listen, you know, you're not giving me the best effort. You got to give me more. Okay? But you got to be willing to do that. And the only way that's going to work is, look, you and I, we just met. I don't even know what your name is. Jack. Where are you from? Pepper, right? If I'm going to get him to trust me, right, I got to work on this constantly. I got to know who he is. I got to get to know him. One of the things we also talk about is the difference between respect and dignity. Right? Respect and dignity. Two words that often get misconstrued. Everybody deserves dignity. Everybody. Your teachers, your parents, everybody you will run into. You walk into this gym, communicate with his teammates, making sure guys that aren't as experienced know where they're supposed to be when he's on the floor. That's where the respect comes. It's all the other things, right? Pete Caponini's plays for Massillon. Pete Caponini was a freshman trying to get himself in and play on a varsity team that was pretty talented. He knew that he had to find a way in there by doing something that will make himself stand out. And it couldn't be knocking down shots from the outside because we had tons of guys that could do that. Okay? It couldn't be driving the ball to the hoop or playing inside because we had tons of guys that do that. So Pete just decided as a freshman, you know what? When I rotate on defense, I'm going to pick up charges. Pick up charges, pick up charges, pick up charges. All it takes is a little bit of courage and just a little bit of smarts to step in there and take it. Alright? So Pete, I said to Pete, you're super talented, but you really, there's not a spot for you on the varsity team. I'm going to play you in JV. So you get your feet underneath it and see what you can do. Season's going on, we're going to play Weston High School at home. We played Weston High School over at Weston High School earlier in the season. They're a Division III school. We need this to get in the tournament. We played them over at their place. We won the game at their place on a 4-point play with no time left. Okay? So we caught the ball, kid hits a 3-pointer and gets fouled, the buzzer sounds, the ball goes in to tie the game, and we knocked down the foul shot over here. So I know that Weston's coming in, they're good. Kyle Murphy from Weston is now at Rivers, right? He scored 1,000 points at the end of his sophomore season. Okay? Super talented. We know we're going to have a good game plan. I turned to my assistant coaches, I said, we need Pete. Yeah, you have 30. 12. How many are coming? Perfect. What do we do with that? 10 and 2. Yeah. We don't have to fly foul. Give me 2 guys out of that line. Carlisle. All right. We'll be good to you today. All right? Okay. We're going to do full court layups. Full court layups. I'm going to put the balls in the group. Okay? I'll give you the balls in a second. Here's how this is going to work. 41. 41. Oh, sorry. It's all right. It's all right. We're going to be good now. He scored 30 in the playoff game, didn't he? He's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. What you're going to do is you're going to pass the ball here. What's your name? Ryan. You're going to pass the ball Ryan. You're going to sprint up the floor. Ryan's going to give you the ball back about half court. Right? You're going to catch the ball. You're going to give the ball to him. Devin. Right? Devin's going to catch the ball. He's going to give you one bounce pass. You're going to catch it without dribbling it, lay it in. Once you've done that, you've got to rebound your own basketball. Give it to the first guy in this line, and he's coming back this way. Right? How's he going to know who to give it to? How's he going to know? Outlet, ball for the ball. Start sending it back down the other way. You good on this? Okay? We're going to have 3 basketballs in this group. So the first 3 of you guys are going to go. Right? Now, when he goes, you got to give him a second, right? Because if you go right up his butt, the ball's going to be flying all over the place. Okay? You good on this? Let me get you guys 3 basketball. Hey, one nice. Get the ball coming in. You got 3 good ones? Good on this? Now, the other thing we do, we don't Then you're going to do another minute right-handed. Then you're going to do a minute left-handed and another minute left-handed. Right? On average, you should be able to get 15 layups on each hoop. Does this make sense? 15 layups on each hoop. So, 15 layups on each hoop. How many layups is that in a minute? 30. 30. So 30 layups in a minute. How many layups before the minute? 60. 60? That's for 2 minutes. For 4 minutes. 120. If we don't get 120, what are we going to do? How many times are we going to run? 1, 2, how many times? You tell me. How many times? You tell me. You get it. Now, 1, 2, 3, what do you want to do? 3 times. We'll run 3 what we do in Bedford, we run 22. We'll run 3 22. I'll give you a chance to get out of it too. You good on this? You know what you're doing? Ball's going here, there, right? Once you make your leg, you get in the end of that line. You good? We're going to go. What are you trying to do? Win. Does it matter who scores the point? No. Does it matter who gets the rebound? No. Does it matter who picks up the charges? Who does all the dirty work? No. You just need to win. That's the whole goal. All right? Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait.